Welcome to Leveraging Upchain for Streamlined PLM and PDM Collaboration, connecting data, people, and processes. Before we get started, we're going to go over a little bit about M2 Technologies, and I want to add, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please type them into the questions panel in the control panel, and we will address them at the end. M2 Technologies is a consulting firm focused on productivity, improving manufacturing process efficiency, and reducing manufacturing costs. Using generative design and best-in-class manufacturing and asset management processes, our team of industry experts can help you become more sustainable, more profitable, and more prepared to meet the demands of urbanization in a rapidly changing world. We are committed to helping clients realize the business benefits of BIM and asset management quickly and economically by facilitating the use of innovative processes and technologies. Whether it's streamlining your product design, maximizing asset longevity, or optimizing your processes, our team is one of the most experienced group of manufacturing technology consulting professionals. We partner with world leaders such as Autodesk, Panzura, EaglePoint, and Bluebeam to utilize innovative technologies and methodologies to empower sustainable manufacturing and overcome local challenges. To support the industry, we offer a wide range of services, including CAD management, simulation, data management, CIO advisories, and training. My name is Tristan Gunderson. I will be presenting today. I'm an applications engineer here at M2 Technologies. I work with our clients to help them optimize their workflows, get the most out of their software, and utilize cutting-edge technology. We're going to be looking at Upchain. We're going to start with an intro to Upchain, and then look at the bill of materials, which is the central component of Upchain's workflow. We'll then look at supplier management, the CAD viewer and markup tools, lifecycle states and how to change them, tasks and scheduling, and lastly, staying connected. So what is Upchain? There's three key parts to Upchain. It's a cloud, PDM, and PLM solution. Now, what does this mean? Of course, first, it's on the cloud, so you can access your information and data from anywhere where you have an internet connection. This means accessing from conferences, on-site, or at a client site. Next, we have the product data management. Within Upchain, you're able to store, share, view, and collaborate on files, all within one place. Upchain works with several different CAD applications. This includes Inventor, SolidWorks, CATIA, and PTC Creo, with built-in plugins for each of these different programs, allowing your engineers to work and update the models directly from their tools. This includes revision control, which allows you to view the history of any document or model within Upchain, and even revert to previous states if necessary. And lastly, this comes with a check-in and check-out system. The way this works is, in order to make changes to a file, you first check out the file, which gives you the sole ownership of that file while you have it checked out. This means that nobody else can make changes while you have it checked out, and they'll be able to see who has the most current version. When you're done, you can check the file back in, and those changes will be saved in the revision history. Next, we have the product lifecycle management. This starts with the project and bill of materials management. This allows you to view all the models and assets connected to a project, update them, and link other files in real time. You can manage the lifecycle states and workflows associated with items and tasks. You can create and maintain a project schedule that's connected directly to the different items in your project and can have automatic notifications for the different users or roles associated with those tasks. You have change management to create documented change orders and to change lifecycle states. And lastly, a built-in 3D CAD viewer and markup tool. So anyone in your company can have access to the most recent models from any device without the need of any 3D CAD software. When you open up one of your projects in Upchain, you're greeted by the dashboard. The dashboard is a configurable space where you can see your current progress on the project, any completion or overdue tasks, and the tasks that are currently assigned to you. From here, you have the side control panel where you can quickly switch back to that dashboard. You can open up your bill of materials to view your items. You have your project management space where you can maintain and view the schedule for the project. The business processes where you can see business documents such as change requests that are created within Upchain. You have your documents where you can save and link all of your connected documents such as PDFs, Word documents, and spreadsheets. With any Microsoft Office tools, you also have a built-in plugin similar to your CAD tools that allows you to check in and check out those documents and access them without having to open up your browser for Upchain. And lastly, you have the project settings where project managers can change the visibility on a project and add new users to the project. Upchain has 3 different levels of access for different users. This is the professional, the team, and the participant. These allow you to either limit the abilities of different users or expand those abilities for your power users. The professional, which is used mostly by project managers and engineers, has access to all of the tools within Upchain. And professional users can be created as admins in order to change the admin settings as well. The key to the professional is the ability to use the CAD plugins, allowing you to upload and change all of your 3D models. Next is the team member. The team member has most of the same access as the professional, just with the limited access to making edits to those CAD models. However, the CAD models can still be viewed and marked up within Upchain and even downloaded for external use. Lastly is the participant. The participant is mostly a consumer of data. They can be assigned tasks. They can still view the 3D CAD, but they don't have the ability to make markups or import files. The participant can also be assigned to customers if they need access to be able to view different elements within your Upchain projects without making changes. Now getting into Upchain, we'll start with the bill of materials. The bill of materials is the central space within Upchain. This is where you store your items, such as CAD models. From here, you can store and access the CAD models, drawing files, and related documents all in one place. This is also where you can access the viewer and markups to review and collaborate on these models. When you select an item, it brings up an info tab. From here, it immediately opens up the details. The details gives you all of the information on this model or item that is stored within Upchain, such as the item number, descriptions, name, and so on. Next, you have your business processes. Here you can quickly find or create a new business process, such as a change request or any revision requirements. These business processes connect to workflows and can control the lifecycle states of your model. Next, we can see all linked documents. Documents can be added to projects or to items directly, and here you can find any document related to the item that has been connected. Next, we have the CAD attributes, which is where we can access all of the physical attributes and other information from your initial CAD software, such as mass, materials, designer, and so on. Next, we can create custom categories to sort our parts into. For instance, if you have pipe fittings, valves, and other such items, you can create those categories and sort those to quickly find the parts you're looking for. Next, we have the revision history, where we can view all changes that have been made, including changes made within Upchain or revisions that have been checked in by users. We can revert to previous states if necessary, or as we'll see in a little bit, we have the ability to compare previous versions. Next is the where used. This allows us to quickly link to other projects where the item is included, or assemblies where the item has been used. Here's the compares tab, as we were talking about earlier, where we can take those different revision states and actually create comparisons between them to see what changes have been made. When we create one of these, we can then access it again at any time in this tab. We then have the suppliers tab, where we can find all the relevant supplier information for the item. And lastly, the linked items, where we can find any other items within the project or other projects that have been linked to this one. We're going to look a little closer at the supplier info real quick. The supplier details allow you to store purchasing info directly with the item. You can select from your list of suppliers that have been added by admins, and then add additional information such as purchasing information like quantity, price, and the part number specific to that supplier. You can maintain the info for one or multiple different suppliers and directly compare them within this tab. From here, you can create custom forms or export this info to quickly create purchase orders, spreadsheets, or other information. Here we can see our bill of materials tab. You can quickly see that we have different categories that we can view information on. We have here status, visualization, tasks, creator, quantity. One of the key things to look at here is the files. You'll notice that some of these are a lighter gray than others. Those ones that aren't created, such as the drawing files, which can be linked directly to the item here. For this, we're going to actually look at our CAD viewer. So we come up to the top here, view, we can view that drawing, or we can open up and view the model. Right now, we have a 3D view of our entire assembly. We can select any item in this assembly to highlight it, and we can even toggle the visibility on different items in here to get a better view. We can also create section views to view inside of models. You can create up to 3 of these and toggle the direction and alignment. We can create a second one at the same time here and flip that view to get a quarter view to see inside our model. And again, we can quickly click and drag these to place them where we need them. We can reset them at any time in order to restore back to normal. We also have an exploded view that we can quickly use to view internal components. And we can slide that back and forth to explode more or less. We then have markups. We can create simple circles or squares to call out details. We also can create text box. Here we can write any custom note we want associated with the markup. These markups are able to be saved and pulled back up later in order to communicate any design changes that need to be made or any other details that want to be pointed out. We even have a custom draw tool. You can see we can drag and drop anything at once it's been created or continue to draw new ones so we can quickly call out specific areas. If we don't save this, we can hit home and it will clear all of it. The markups are always saved specific to a view. So by moving around the 3D, it will remove them. We can change the display state from wireframe to solid. We can even make measurements within our viewer. We can select an edge to quickly drag and drop a dimension here. Or we can measure angle or distance between two faces. When we create these dimensions, it allows us to place this dimension within the 3D space. This means that unlike the markups, when we move around within the 3D space, they actually will remain. We have several different navigation tools from orbit to walk, turntable, in order to best navigate our model to get the views we want. We can create a snapshot to save as a new image, and we can save or recall those markups that were previously made. Next, we have our document management. Our document management works very similar to our bill of materials. It allows us to add documents similar to how we add those items, and we can either add them directly to an item or we can add them to a general project. Once they've been added to a project, they can actually be linked to multiple projects or be linked back to an item. Here, we selected an object and decided to add items to it, or add documents to it. We can select any relevant documents, and then they will become linked to that item. So we can find those documents from the bill of materials, or find the item by selecting the document. When we select a document, we'll get an info panel similar to with the items in the bill of materials. Here we have a few different tools. We can quickly find other linked documents, any linked items, and see the revision history. We also have the ability to open up a viewer of this file within Upchain, or we can download it to open it there. We can share the document, and we even can check it out in order to make changes to the document. similar to how we did with the CAD files. One of the important items for Upchain is the ability to change the lifecycle state. You can change lifecycle states of items using different workflows. One of the built-in workflows for this is the change request. When we create a new change request, we choose the items that we want to include, and then it opens up this tab. Here we can see that the status of all of our items that were in progress are now pending. And at the top right corner, we can see 3 different options to edit the change request, reject it, or release items. These options are only available to our project managers who are assigned this change request. If we reject the change request, it will cancel the change request, and all of the items will return to in progress. However, if we select release items, the change request will be converted to completed, and all of the items will be released. Now, any users who only have access to released items will be able to view them, and no one will be able to make changes to these items without bringing them back to a in progress state. All of this is achieved using the different workflows. Here we have the specific workflow for this change request. As you see at the start, we have these 2 icons that say update. Those are what updates the status of the change request and the lifecycle state of the items. It then is sent to the task for the project manager. That is the option to reject or approve the change request. Once that's completed, as long as the items are able to release normally, the change request is updated to completed, and it finishes. Otherwise, the project manager has the option to try releasing them again or cancel the workflow and cancel that change request. Next, we have our project management. Project management is the built-in scheduling tool within Upchain. Here we can create different tasks and phases in order to keep track of our progress on projects and create assignments and custom workflows for different users. Within our project overview, we can create, edit, monitor our project and the progress. We can see here on the side we have key factors such as priority, assignees, start date, and the duration of these different tasks. We also can have subtasks which we can expand or reduce in order to focus in on the areas of interest. Creating these tasks automatically displays them in a Gantt chart built into the project management tool. We're able to create links from the end-to-end of different tasks and phases, allowing us to create constraints that will automatically update our tasks as things change. This way, if one task runs over time or needs to be extended, any tasks that are dependent on that can be automatically updated and moved back to reflect the changes that have been made. The way this works is by creating 3 different types of units. We have our tasks, our stage gates, and our milestones. Our tasks are our basic units. Tasks are assigned with constraints as well as duration, and can even be given custom workflows. Tasks are also assigned to specific users or roles. Next, we have the stage gates. Stage gates are larger phases that don't have custom workflows, but the stage gates are given a duration and a start date. Within the stage gates, we can create subtasks and even create subtasks within additional tasks. Lastly, we have the milestones. The milestones will mark key moments in the design process and therefore do not have a duration and only have a set date. As like the stage gates, milestones can also be given subtasks. And all of that can be linked end to end using our connections. We also have the ability in our Gantt chart to highlight the critical path, progress colors, and to quickly identify different areas of interest. As we can see here, we quickly can see the different progress colors of the green for completed, the neutral for in progress, and the red for not yet started. We also can see our grayed out striped bars behind certain tasks. This means that there is no dependent task relying on that, and there may be leeway for that task to finish later, or we have some dependencies that haven't been modeled correctly within our Gantt chart. Lastly is the critical path, which we can't see here, but will highlight any dependent tasks that are needed to be completed on time in order for the project to finish. When we create a new task, we're able to add some crucial information. This includes the task type, which is the general category in which our workflows are stored. We can set the priority, anything from low, medium, high, up to critical. Within that task type, we can select our different workflows. Our workflows can have built-in tasks that need to be achieved or decisions that need to be made. And these can be assigned to individual users and can have different notifications sent out by email at the different stages of that workflow. From then, we can assign different users or different roles to a task. This might not be necessary. We can assign no one if the workflow will do that automatically. Otherwise, we can assign it to a specific user or project admin or engineers as needed. We then set the duration for the task and the constraint type. Constraint types include as soon as possible, start no later than, must start on, and so on. For constraints such as start no later than or must start on, we will then also select the date that they are related to. Otherwise, the placement of these tasks will be dependent on its links to other tasks. For instance, if we have start as soon as possible, it cannot start any sooner than the previous task ends if we create that constraint. Lastly, we have the ability to add documents linked to it or items. This way, if a task is related to a specific model or to a specific document that needs to be created or filled out, we can link those directly to the task. So when a user pulls up their assignment, they can directly access the files that need to be edited or referenced in order for them to complete that task. Lastly, when we do create a task that has a workflow, we can, again, assign users or roles to it or have that built into the workflow. When we start the task, we will hit Start Workflow, which will often have an automatic update to some kind of completion percentage which can then automatically change as the workflow is continued and as different tasks or decisions are performed. If there isn't a workflow associated with a task, we can actually change those completion status and a percentage manually. So if we go into a task and it's halfway done, we can change that status to in progress and the completion to 50%, for instance. The status and completion are linked. So if we change that completion to anything above 0%, it'll automatically update that status from draft to in progress. The same goes if we change the status to completed, it'll automatically set the completion at 100%. Here we can see another example of the workflow creator usable by the admins. This is just a basic workflow for this decision task. It allows us to, when we start workflow, update that progress on the task 10%. It then notifies the project manager that the task is available for them to send out to any clients to have approved. Once they complete that, it'll update the task to 50%, and then comes the decision. Once the feedback comes back from the client, the project manager can select whether the changes have been approved or declined. And if they approve it, it completes the task and sets it to 100%. And if not, it reverts back to that previous state and the workflow starts all over again. So lastly, as we've been talking a lot in this, one of the keys to Upchain is the connectivity. It's about having the PDM and PLM all in one place. So you can store your files, but not just store them, be able to access them, be able to collaborate on them, and be able to quickly access any linked documents, materials, workflows, tasks, all in one place. And it all centers around that bill of materials and those items, because at the heart of manufacturing, we have our bill of materials and our engineered items. So as we develop those, we are able to quickly see any business documents, any change requests, or any other tasks and workflows that we've linked to them. Lastly, we are able to connect and share not only across different teams within our company at different sites in meetings, but we can even share this information directly with our clients. All right. If you have any questions, please enter those in the questions panel now. It looks like we have no questions. So if you have any questions later, you can contact us through our website, our phone, our sales support number, or sales support email, or contact your account executive directly. Thank you for joining us.